Welcome back to another episode of RV Travel News. We need a different title. That is not catchy at all. And news is designed to strike fear into the hearts of citizens, and that just doesn't do it. Let's work on that. Let's work on finding a new name for this little project we're doing now. Let's say hi to our new friends from Detroit. I noticed a couple people from Detroit are now on this channel. This is in their honor. Let's do the community bulletin first. A golf cart pulled up. I thought it was the maintenance man, who I'm convinced is going to propose any day now. But there's a flea market. We're going to have a RV park flea market this Saturday, which is not nearly enough time for me to buy things for cheap made in China on the internet and then repackage them as artisan goods here. But this Saturday, they told me I could get a table. And so it was the RV park manager and one of the maintenance guys, and I looked at this and I said, can I resell expired medication like hydrocodone and Xanax and that sort of thing? But that's not allowed. So I was trying to think of what I can possibly hustle to make a buck to cover these medical bills. I was thinking maybe if I made a deal with that maintenance man, because they cut the lawn towards the end of the week, and if I got like little decorative baggies and put the lawn clippings in it and called it like vegan salad mix, low carbon footprint vegan salad mix, I bet you I could sell that. There's some new people from California over there. They don't make eye contact. They're over there. Well, we'll just maybe attend that. It sounds like there are going to be people there. The following Saturday, pancakes. I will say this is one of the more adorable things about living in an RV park is that they do these activities. And I've not gone to any of them because people always bring their children, and I'd rather set myself on fire than participate in something like that. Do you like my new light? See that back there? I do the candle thing in the RV just because it makes the air smell nice, and that is obviously a fire hazard. So I finally bought one of those. It's a wax heater, and it's lit by a light bulb. It makes the air smell really nice. I get whiter and whiter by the day, but that is my new favorite thing, and that will not burn down your rig, which is important. All right, let's get into breaking news. Mercedes has announced that they will be bringing an electronic version of their Sprinter to the US market. This is, of course, what happens when manufacturers are trying to keep up with the Joneses, because Ford has already announced that they're going to have an electronic Transit. Now, both of these, they're going to keep the outside shape, so everything is going to look the same. You're going to have the same high roof, but in the eSprinter, isn't that cute, eSprinter? There's going to be 3 modules. Either your batteries are going to be in the front, the batteries are going to be in the back, or the batteries are going to be underneath. Now, Mercedes already has eSprinters in Europe, where everything is oddly enough more progressive than it is here. They already have them. To be fair, though, in Europe, you can drive through a whole country in like a couple hours, where in the US, you could drive for a couple hours and like not be out of the county I live in. We have stoplights and generally abide by the speed limits. Have you ever driven abroad? When I went to Scotland by myself, you're going to get a side story. I will get back to this, but you already clicked on this, so now you have to listen to every damn word I say. When I went to Scotland, I road tripped the perimeter on the other side of the road, the wrong side, and it was manual, so all the gears are in the opposite. And I asked the lady at the car rental if I could please practice before driving out with these crazy Scottish people who you'd think Scotland was going to fall in the ocean. I mean, they were going so fast. They were racing from something, probably England. And she said, no, I can't do the accent, but even when Scottish people are mad at you, it sounds so yummy. So yummy. She said no. So at 8 o'clock in the morning, the height of traffic in Edinburgh, however y'all say it, she sent me out into the highway, and now they have roundabouts. In Europe, they have roundabouts. We have stoplights, and we still run them, but we have them. And so my technique to not die when driving through Europe by myself was I would get in the roundabout and I would just stay. I would just stay in the roundabout until I felt comfortable, until I had calculated in my brain what side of the white line I needed to be on. I just hung out there. Yep, I just orbited. I was like a little tiny satellite. Satellite Roman, just people were staring. I didn't care. What are you gonna do? You can't get me out of here. And then finally, when I felt, then I would go. I got into 3 accidents on that trip. Scotland, it was a pleasure. Anyway, and I'm gonna have to look at my notes because, as it turns out, I do not actually walk around with casual knowledge about horsepower and torque in my brain. The issue here is that the consumer is going to have to decide when these start to roll out. Do you want range? Or do you want payload? Do you want range or do you want payload? And here's why, okay? So right now in the European market, they are front wheel drive, the eSprinters, and they have 114 horsepower and 218 pounds-feet of torque. Torque is like your get up and go, your acceleration. There's a much better explanation for this somewhere else on the internet. But that's really like what torque is, your get up and go, okay? So for comparison, now remember there's different models of Sprinter. There's bigger, smaller, there's gas, there's diesel, but a traditional Sprinter gets about 188 horsepower and 258 pounds-foot of torque. So again, on the horsepower alone, 114 horsepower with the battery and 188 with the traditional. But that's not actually what I'm worried about for like the van community. It's the payload. Because this is really targeted to the commercial delivery market because we're all at home ordering things that we don't need off the internet, spending too much money. And so this is designed to expand the commercial delivery market. So Amazon has already ordered a bunch of these in Europe, and then obviously the hope is to capture the Amazon market here, and I'm sure that Ford and Sprinter are going to fight over this. But that's what they're designed to do. But what do van people do? Van people, they move into their rigs and they put like a koi pond and then like all this custom cabinetry, and then they've got their water filter system and this huge composting toilet that you have to take apart, and 3 shelter dogs and a partridge in a pear tree. So you need like a beefy vehicle. What you need is Bob. Bob can pull the gates off of hell, and one day I may need that service. Not for me, for all my friends, and for some of you because I've read your comments. What we're looking at for an eSprinter is 55 kilowatt hours. And that can go a mighty, a fierce 104 miles with 1,964 pounds on board. I'm going to say it again so they can hear me in the back. 104 miles. This has always been the challenge with the electric car. Now the electric cars, those are starting to get some impressive distances. But on the commercial side, 104 miles. So if you're doing delivery, then that's not a big deal. But if you are trying to travel the country, 104 miles, well, you're going to see a lot. That's great. You'll definitely be stopping in small towns. For you, those of you who want to do the Mother Hubbard out in the middle of the woods BLM land thing, I don't know how far you're going to go on that and like how long it stays charged. So again, this is really directed at the delivery service sector. But of course, when I'm doing my research and reading about this, they start, seducing the van and travel community about how great it is that you're going to save the world with your electronic van, and how wonderful it is that you're not even going to you might not need a generator, and you're just so wonderful. And to that, 104 miles, if the whole point is to travel, like that's going to get you a whole lot of nowhere. Now, I know that one of you turkeys is going to ask if you can put 50 solar panels up on the roof and recharge your eSprinter with your solar panels. Just go ahead and ask that. And if you're new to this channel, if this is your first video and you're confused about my general hatred of solar, just go watch any of the other 500 videos where I talk trash about solar. I'm not going to get into it. So it's fascinating, and hopefully, ideally, the battery-powered cars, battery-powered everything will start to move forward. But reality is, at least in the US, the fuel companies and the car manufacturers have really powerful lobbyists who are probably never going to make that happen. So it's a cute idea. It's cute. It's cute. It's a toy van. Yeah. There's a rumor that there could be a 120 kilowatt battery option. I have no idea how much further that will get you, but that's just a rumor at this point. So it's interesting. It is an interesting thing, but right now you're probably stuck with gas or diesel. And Mercedes, you know, I looked at a Mercedes. I had a Mercedes under contract for my van build. And my only issue, well, I have lots of issues with Mercedes, but just to reiterate, the thing, if you are considering them, because I get a lot of questions about them, the things that you need to know are do some research about the DEF system on the diesel Mercedes, do some research about their habit for rusting out, and also know that if that thing needs service work, it can only be worked on, at least the last time I checked, by a Mercedes Sprinter technician. And I'm going to take a wild guess that all these new electronic vans, those are also going to be serviced by specific technicians at specific dealerships. And so if you want to wander, you've got to consider all that, because if you break down, Jim Bob with jack-o'-lantern teeth who doesn't blink at even intervals at the side of the road in like some square state in the middle might not know how to do all that. So think about that. All right, let's do a little product testing, shall we? In one of the recent videos, I showed you my closet is shoved full of dresses and dress wear and like things when I have to go out in the real world and do real estate. It's all pushed in there because in an RV, you just don't have traditional closets, right? And at 5'2", I don't have like long ball gowns, but everything is cramped in there. And so every morning I have to use a steamer and like steam out the wrinkles, and it's a pain in the ass. So a couple people said, well, why don't you just turn your shower into like a closet? And I said, well, because that's where I put my dirty clothes, and I don't really want my dirty clothes, like my gym clothes, next to my work clothes. And also because the shower is curved, it's not flat, like it's not this perfect square thing. So I don't think this is gonna work, but I'm willing to try it in the event that I might be wrong. It's not really a sensation I'm that familiar with, but we could try it. It's the right size, but I don't know. All right, so curved, all these curves. So the thought here is that, see, let me show you this. I don't think that. Works great. Final verdict is it's not really a solution. It fell down like 4 times. The only way it will stay, because this is a smooth surface, and then this is a smooth surface, so you're not getting any traction. So anytime I had it up here, it was like creeping down with the weight of my clothes. And so the only way it'll stay up is if it's leaning against this like soap, conditioner, shampoo ledge. But even then, if there's it's just, no. That's how much it'll hold, which, I mean, it freed up some closet space, but I would not say that this is a solution at all. It just fell down again. This is not a solution. This is going back. I don't know. No. See? No. We have to come up with something else. But, you know, you have, if you're gonna do this full time, you're gonna live very teeny tiny closets, and then your only other options are going to be these things right here, and it's it's just not what YouTube says it is. That's what it's just.